Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to lesson number 1, inshallah, in these words of the Quranic words lessons. Lesson number 1 is to do with the yes and no words. So as you will find is that in these lessons you need your pen, pencil, notepad or notebook, and a copy of the Quran with the translation so you can track the verses as you go along. This last part is very important to make sure you have your own Quran and your own Mus'haf with the translation, because when you learn the words from these videos and you apply them to the Quran and the Mus'haf that you have with you and you write it down, that will inshallah assist you with your retention. So without further ado, let's get started inshallah. And the first word is a very famous word which means which is na'am, which means yes, of course. So na'am means yes. And where is na'am used in the Quran? So what we'll normally do is we'll give one example from the Quran. So if you go to Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 114. So what you do now is that you pause the video and you go to Surah Al-A'raf with the translation too, and you go to verse number 114. What does the ayah say? بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قال نعم وإنكم لمن المقربين. قال, he said, نعم, yes. وإنكم لمن المقربين, that indeed you will be from the people who are close. This is actually Fir'aun talking to the magicians. When the magicians asked him, what will happen if we beat Musa alayhi salam? Then Fir'aun said that you will be close to me. But in it, doesn't matter about that. What we want to learn is the word na'am and where it applies in the Quran. Right, the next word, which is very famous as well, of course, which is the opposite of na'am, and that is la, which means no. So no. Now what you'll find is that no, la, is used in the Quran much more than yes. So la means no. Now with these words, because they are part of the kalimat and the article of faith, then we don't need to apply a verse here. We just need to give the meaning of each word, inshallah. So ilah means God. Ilah means God, and God, any God. Yeah. One thing before we move on from ilah, ilah is a noun in the language. Okay, a noun, and a noun is called an ism in Arabic. A noun is called an ism in Arabic. So it's important that you learn that. And in Arabic, this noun actually has a fatha on it. The default case is normally a dhamma. So you'll find in all of the other lessons with nouns that we have in future lessons, I will normally put a dhammatain on it, which is the tanween of dhamm. But here we put ilaha because it occurs in this sentence, la ilaha illallah. Yeah. So the next word is illa, which means except. Yeah, or but. Anyone is fine. Yeah, illa. Except is a little bit more formal, of course. So we have la ilaha, no God, but, and then we have Allah, which is of course the ism jalala, the wonderful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the glorious name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what I want to highlight here too is that Allah is actually ilah with alif lam, but it's unique to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name because Allah is only one and it doesn't occur for anyone else. Where ilah can refer to in the Quran as a false god, but Allah is only referring to the one true God. So that's really important from a linguistic perspective to understand where does the name of Allah come from a linguistic perspective. It's al-ilah. Right, so now that we've done that, let's move on to the next word, inshallah. And the next word is kalla. Now kalla is one of those words which appears, it has the meaning of no, but it's in like the old translations, you'll find them like nay. And the modern meaning of that is never. Oops, my writing is bad. You'll get used to that. So the modern meaning is never. And that means like it's normally used in reply. It can be used by itself too, but normally it's used in reply. So like kalla, and it's strong. It's stronger than la, generally. In this verse that we're going to highlight, which is Surah Takathur, Surah number 102, verse number 3 and 4. Surah number 102, verse number 3 and 4. In there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. Nay, you will know, you will know, you will know. كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ, you will know. ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ, thereafter or then you will know. Nay, you will know. So that is كَلَّا. كَلَّا is a strong no. Now, len, lam, ma, and laysa, I'll talk about laysa in a second, they all mean not. For this lesson, inshallah, lesson number 1 that you're learning, we're going to say that len, lam, and ma, and laysa, and laysat mean not. There's a particular a grouping that's going on here which we need to understand. So I'm going to put this in a single box. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that in a second. So they all mean not, but they have a particular thing. Laysa also means not, but it has its own grouping. So I'm going to put that in that box there. Right. So let's start with laysa, because why is one laysa and the other one is laysat? What you can see, I've got F here, which means female. So in Arabic, we have masculine words and we have feminine words. And it's a lot more than that we have in English. So laysa is the masculine and laysat is the feminine. Normally when we give, the default one is the masculine that we give, and the feminine is then conjugated out, or something is added to the word to make it a feminine. Generally speaking, there are exceptions, of course. But laysa and laysat is a verb. So it's a verb. And like we said, noun is ism in Arabic. Verb is fi'il. Fi'il. Now, this word, fa'in lam, fi'il, is very important that you bear this in mind, because in the teaching of the Arabic language, these 3 letters are used a lot. So you need to remember fa'in lam. And fa'il just means to do. Actually, fa'ala means he did. Yeah, fa'il means verb, linguistic like in the grammar, but it means he did. And it comes normally under the branch of sarf. The rest of it is under nahwa. Anyway, that's going to be the next lesson where we talk about the different branches. So this is a verb. Now that we know that this is a verb, what we will say is that len, lam, and ma occur with verbs, but we'll come back to that later. The next word is bala, and bala is the same meaning as yes, but it's like kalla, and it's used in reply normally. So it means yes or indeed, meaning yes indeed. Okay, so yes indeed. Bala, and we have the famous verse in, we have Surah Al-Qiyamah. Go to Surah number 75, verse number 4. You need to go to the verse. There's no point watching this video and just looking at the word and saying, okay, that's fine. You need to write down Bala in your notebook. Go to the verse, inshallah, with the English translation, a physical copy, and write down, okay, Bala qadirina ala an nusawwiya banana. Bala qadirina ala an nusawwiya banana. Of course, the disbelievers, they ask the question, are we able to be raised on the day of judgment? And the reply is, Bala, yes indeed. قادرين على أن نسوي banana. We are able to bring again the fingertips. Yeah, we are in perfect order. We are able to put together the fingertips. Bala is yes indeed we are able to. Okay. The next word is غير, and غير means not or other than. Not or other than. Right, so if we have Surah Al-Fatiha, last verse, غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ, not those who have earned your anger. غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. غَيْرَ is the original. We got غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ here. But that's because of the grammar, and the people on the course who are going to enroll in the course, they will learn a lot more about how the grammar affects the harakat, meaning the fatha, dhamma, kasra, so on and so on. And they will really understand that a lot more. That's something, because we need to give examples, and we bring the verses out, we write them on the board, we say, okay, this is how that works, and then you get to understand that in a greater detail. Of course, this is lesson number 1, so we just want to introduce you to some words. So غير المغضوب عليهم, not those who have earned your anger. So if we go to thana, when you start the prayer, what do we read? Say Allahu Akbar, then Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabarak asmuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. Wa la ilaha ghayruk. There is no God other than you. Here we've got no God except Allah. There we have La ilaha ghayruk. There is no God other than you. So the other than meaning is being given there. Right. So let's go to the word duna. And duna means besides. So duna means besides. Let's take a look at the verse that has been given. Surah At-Tawbah, Surah number 9, verse number 31. So pause the video, go to Surah number 9, which is Surah At-Tawbah, and go to verse number 31. In there we have اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله. اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم. They took their أحبارهم, their rabbis, ورهبانهم, and their monks, أربابا, as lords, من دون الله, besides Allah. Again, duna is there, but in the verse we have min dunillah. That's because any word that comes after min is with a kasra. Again, you don't need to worry about that. We'll come to that lesson later on. So duna means besides. They take their rabbis and their monks, meaning the monks, monks, arbaba, as lords, min dunillah, besides Allah. Right, and then last word for this lesson, which is Allah, which is not included in this lesson for Dr. Abdul Aziz's research, but I think it needs to be here, is Allah, which means that not, because it also gives the meaning of sort of not. Yeah, it also gives the meaning of not, and that appears in the Quran too. So let's take a look at the example. If we go to Surah number 53, which is Surah number 53 is Surah Al-Najm. Surah Al-Najm, Surah number 53, verse number 38. أَلَّا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. That no bearer of weight, أَلَّا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَةٌ أُخْرَى, will carry the weight of another. So no bearer of a burden will carry the burden of another. Yeah. أَلَّا تَزِرُ, no, that no. Bearer of weight, bearer of burden will carry the burden of another. So that's that. Right. So at this point, normally in the the free videos that you're watching, if you're on YouTube, we'll say click the link in the description and see how you can go deeper, maybe understand the Quran, how they apply specifically to the Quran. And I would ask you to click the link in the description and enroll. But I want to give you a taster of how we go about in the lessons in the course, enrolled course. So we give a bit more specific examples. And what I'll do is at first, because we wanted to explain lan, lam, and ma, is we'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. We'll bring this back in a second. And of course, this is the first lesson, so we can't give too many examples. So what I want to do here, oops. So we've got laysa and laysat. We don't need that for these examples. Right. We've got len, lam, and ma. There's another word that I want to bring in here, which is la, which we've got here as well. I'm going to put la in between, and there's a reason for that. So lan, lam, and ma, and lan, lam, and la, these three words, which also they appear with present tense verbs. Present tense verbs. Present tense verbs are known as fi'l mudari'. We'll go over them. You don't need to worry about that. Fi'l we already know is verbs. Mudari', which means present tense. Okay. So lan, lam, and ma occur with fi'l mudari' only, and they have a meaning of negation. So what does negation mean in language? Negation means that if these words occur with a word that has a positive meaning, the negation word will give it a negative meaning. Hence negation, negative. Okay. Same as ma, by the way, but ma has its own consideration. By the way, ma is one of those unique words in the Arabic language. It has the most amount of meanings than any other word. In this lesson of yes and no, it means not. Okay, and it's a word of negation, general word of negation. But we'll find in other lessons that ma has other meanings too. Right, so coming back here, len, lam, and ma, la we have. So if we go to len, there is, if we go to Surah Ali Imran, and in there, let me just get the verse number up for you. Surah Ali Imran, verse number 92. 392. Len tanalu al-birra. Right, tanalu is a present tense verb. Len is coming before that, is changing it grammatically too. It means len tanalu al-birra. Tanalu means to attain and to win something. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, len tanalu al-birra hatta tunfiqu mimma tuhibbun, that you will never attain piety. Hatta tunfiqu mimma tuhibbun, until you spend of that which you love. Yeah, so he's negating the word tanalu of to win and to have an award. Len tanalu, you will never attain, you will never win piety. Okay, so len is there. Right, lam, do we need to give any other example? You should, an example should be popping in everyone's head now. I got to Surah Al-Ikhlas. Yeah, lam yalid. Oops. It's a lam, yeah. Lam yalid. Wa lam yulad. Go to Surah Al-Ikhlas. Sorry, that's a dal. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. يا لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. لم يلد, he does not give birth. ولم يولد, and he is not born. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد, and there is nothing comparable to him. So lam is changing the verb. We'll get to the lam lesson later on. فعل مجزوم. Right, la. La also comes, and it comes in front of a present tense verb, and it negates the verb. It doesn't change it grammatically, however it does change the meaning. So let's think of la. Why is nothing coming in my head? So la. Okay, that is not the meaning of negation, that's the meaning of qasam. La also has the meaning of qasam. Don't worry about that. Let me just go to the Quran. I'm sure I'll find something here. لا يستأذنك. لا يستأذنك. لا يستأذن. Yeah, لا يستأذن in Surah At-Tawbah. لا يستأذن. لا يستأذن. So this is in Surah At-Tawbah, Surah number 9. What verse? Verse number 44. لا يستأذن. In there is written with ka. لا يستأذن. This is occurring with the present tense verb. لن تنالوا البر لم يلد ولم يولد لا يستأذن. Okay, ma. I'm just going to rub this out because we're going to talk about ma. Ma, where these all occur with the present tense verb, ma occurs with a past tense verb. A past tense verb. So verbs are in the present tense, verbs are in the past tense, yes? A past tense verb is not fi'l madi. Yeah, fi'l madi. So fi'l madi means a past tense verb. So we have, for example, ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. Go to Surah Al-Lahab. Yeah, verse number 2, right? Yes, verse number 2. ما أغنى عنه ماله, and his wealth did not benefit him. وما كسب, and that which he earned. The first ma is of negation. The second ma is of the other meaning. Remember, ma has many different meanings. So this is how these words lan, lam, and la occur with present tense verbs. That's what you need to take away here. And ma occurs with past tense verbs, or it can occur in the beginning of a sentence and negate the whole sentence too. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's take a look at one thing which is going to be of supreme benefit, inshallah. This is more of a linguistic benefit, what we've done so far. And the real purpose of the course is this. The real purpose is that when we have this, La ilaha illallah, what does it mean? If we put it into a sentence, it means there is, now is doesn't occur in the Arabic language, so I've just put it in brackets, is an implied meaning. There is no God except or but Allah. Yeah. So when you see La ilaha illallah, you need to memorize this meaning. When you're reading Thana, wa la ilaha ghayruk, you need to memorize. The next time you are standing in Salah, you need to remember this. Wa la ilaha ghayruka, that there is no God and, yeah, there is no God other than you. When you're in Salah next time, let me just, because that pen is running out. So other than you, highlight it even more. Standing in Salah, وَلَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُكَ, and there is no other God, there is no God other than you. That's what you got to remember. When you're in tashahhud, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, there's no God except Allah. That's what you got to learn. And as we go along in the course, inshallah, we'll be giving more examples like that. Today, I haven't gone word for word, but I've given you general statement meaning. To memorize it, internalize it, use it every time you read it in the Quran, use it every single time you're in Salah, and then inshallah it will come into your life and you can understand the Quran even more. That's a taster and a sample of what's in the course. So click the link in the description, enroll today. Because when you go into the course, you come off YouTube, no video suggestions around you. It's difficult to learn when there's video suggestions. We're always tempted. Come off, go into the course, inshallah. We go into specific examples, details. You'll benefit, inshallah. Also, in the course, we have the weekly lessons, which you can come on and you can ask us the questions. You can bring an ayah if you're confused about a word, if you're confused about an ayah, anything like that from the course, from the Quran, you can bring that, and inshallah, we will take a look at it and we will try to explain word for word, break it down so you can understand the true meaning of that verse. And either myself or the other instructors in the course will be able to help you on those weekly lessons. Very, very beneficial. So the video course is fantastic and the weekly lessons is just supplementing everything. Of course, everyone has questions and we are there to help you with those questions that you have, and I'll see you on the other side.